Okay, the summer of 1980, 34 years ago.
Let me go along with that and say that my uncle on my mother's side had a home in Jamaica, and not just a home; it was a beautiful home. He was a big executive in New York and had three or four homes across the country. He is very he was a extremely wealthy person. We went.
He
He
was,
asked us if we would like to visit his home in Jamaica.
so our family went down there. Our two children went with us also. And it was a beautiful place to be at. The Jamaicans are very, very friendly people, very laid back. And we rented a car. We drove around all around the island of Montego Bay and never had any fear of being afraid. In fact, we even picked up people that were hitchhiking, which I guess today this is something you wouldn't do, but back then it was, wasn't anything to be afraid of.
We had, in this house we were in, had a table that was probably 5 feet across, a round table, and it was inlaid with semi-precious stones, the most beautiful table I'd ever seen. And right down from there was a swimming pool, so you know how nice it was. Every meal we had at
Well,
that house
they
was.
had he had a cook and a housekeeper and two gardeners that he employed that stayed there all the time to maintain the house. So one day, the cook took us down to the market
Well, yeah,
to
Cook took
shop.
us to the market, and we would go shopping, and she would go around. I would carry a, a bag or something to to sh- to pick up anything she picked up. So she would pick everything up. I would pay for everything, and we went around and did that every day. Interesting thing that happened one day. We there was a big bunch of people. I don't
Well,
say 10 people. I say about 100
the
people.
market was very crowded with all the Jamaicans.
But there was
But
a
we
big circle of people. Uh, I walked up and only in my mind kept saying, "Where's your tape recorder?" I didn't have it, of course. We didn't have, back in those days, we didn't have big tape recorders or little tape recorders. They were big tape recorders. So I didn't have mine, but the music was unbelievable. The children were interesting while we were in Jamaica. The children were
well, when we were in this market, they were all Jamaicans, and we were the only white people there. And so the children were fascinated to see somebody white. In fact, they came up to my daughter and kept touching her because they just had never seen a white person before. But it was just a very interesting experience.
well, and we also would take I don't know if he was the chief gardener or whatever it was. He would take us down to the Gulf, and we stand down there and wait for a boat to come in, and the boat would come in with fish, and we would pick out fish. And so, guess what? We got a
That was
fish
our
dinner that night. Also, something interesting about the cooks. The cooks would take pineapple. We'd have pineapple slices, really wonderful food. And during the he would take and she would take the skins, the part we normally throw away, and she would make some sort of a drink which was unbelievable. Just was one of the nicest drinks I've ever had. But that's we. My daughter one day uh, found out there was a girl. One of the cook's daughters did, what do you call those
when
things?
they braid the hair, I don't know what they
Like
call it.
dreadlocks,
Yeah,
I think it's
dreadlocks. Yeah,
called.
did her hair.
And she had dreadlocks, which drove her nuts because she couldn't wash her hair.
It
Aren't you
was
smiling today?
it was just a very interesting trip. To make a long story short, Jamaicans are, at least back then, they were just very friendly and very laid back.
We uh, we also, another interesting thing, we picked up a young man while we were driving around, and he we took him where he was going, and he got out, and all he had in his pockets and everything was mangoes. So he gave us
That was
2 or
his,
3 mangoes.
that was his payment to us,
So, and then we also met a couple of school teachers,
that
which-
we gave a ride to.
and we gave a ride to, and they told us where to go, where to see the different sites. When we say different sites, we also went to a place called Dunn's River Falls. Dunn's River Falls is, believe it or not, water you could drink. And as we walked up, this man grabbed us, jumped in the car before we
He
had
said,
anything.
I'll take you on a tour.
I'll take you on a tour. So we got to Dunes River Falls. He pulled off his pants. All he had on was underpants. And
Went in the water.
went in the water. You drink water. You drink water.
Water
he
is
said.
pure, drink it.
And so we drank water. We had a great time. It was so much fun going around hearing.
And
what
then
he's-
another thing, the same gardener one day, he climbed up the coconut tree and got a coconut, brought it down, and gave it to my husband, cracked it open for him to eat, a coconut that just came off the tree.
But yeah,
It was just a neat experience.
we
the whole
enjoyed it.
round.
And we thought we could relate what we learned to you.
That's about all we
Anything
can
else?
say.
I don't think there's anything else we can say.
So I don't
Do you
know
have
if
any
this-
questions for us, Mr.
Nathan?
Nate? Nate the fake.
You guys hit it. You guys got everything on the sheet, so that's
Well,
about it.
thanks, Nate. We enjoyed it. And
Hope this is
Are you-
something